45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Welcome in, everyone, to the Dream Wager, episode 316. Today is October 7th, 2023. As always, I'm your host, D-Rock. And joining me, our NBA guru, my partner in crime, Elvis Acosta. E, how you doing today, kid?
Dill, we're doing great. Besides the shitty weather, it keeps raining for some reason. But other than that, Dill, we're ready. We're locked and loaded for a great show today, boys.
Yeah, got a loaded show for you guys today. I was thinking about this the other day. October is the best month. You got playoff basketball. You're in the midst of NFL. You're in the midst of college football. You got NHL starting up. You got fights going on. NBA is coming up. So we'll tackle all things NFL week 5. We're in week 6 for college. And first preview in the NBA, we'll tackle the Atlantic Future Division. We'll give you our best plays for the future market there. And don't worry, we got MLB plays at the end. And the WNBA Finals, Game 1 is today. So, Elvis, let's lock and loaded. Let's start on Thursday night. The Chicago Bears win their first game on the road, 40-20. The game goes over. Bears cover as 6.5-point outright dogs. Justin Fields, I think, has played about 6-7 really good quarters in a row. I mean, he outplayed Sam Howell, I would argue. Sam Howell threw the ball 51 times. So he had an all right game. He took a couple sacks that were kind of bad. The offensive line for the Washington Commanders does not look good, in my opinion. Khalil Herbert, he did go down with an injury, but he ran the ball effectively when he was in the game. Washington could never get anything going on the ground because they were always down. Logan Thompson had a good game. They have good pieces. I don't think they're built to play from behind, though. I think that's really the issue. And it all started when the Bears, that first drive with DJ Moore, 8 catches, 230 yards, 3 TDs. Thank God he's on my fantasy. But other than that, really impressive performance. I mean, we all were talking, not just you and me, but all the media outlets were talking, hey, if Chicago doesn't win, Matt Eberflus, they got Ryan Poole, the GM, they got to be fired. Someone has to be held accountable, but everyone has held on to their jobs for the time being. Elvis, how did you like the game?
Dill, I was shocked / impressed. Still, give credit to Justin Fields and overall the Chicago's Bears, especially their defensive side of the ball in the first half. Dill, that defense in the first half, especially in the first quarter, Dill, came out to fight and play. They wasn't letting anything have. The Commanders didn't get the first down to 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Yeah. Just a first down, people. So I just love the intensity that the Bears came out to. They didn't just come out to play for the team. They came out to play for Dick Vitale. So that was special. 0-3 start. 0-4 start. Didn't want to go to 0-5. And Dill, what Justin Fields was able to do in the first half. It's back-to-back great first halves for Justin Fields. Dill, I'm not going to try to belittle it. Justin Fields was flat out special in the first half. Dill, the couple throws he made. I understand he missed the one with Mooney to start the game. Slightly overthrew him. To me, Mooney got to go up there and grab that. Hey, and the one on the sideline as well, Dill, was a little, it was a bad throw. But other than that, Dill, Justin Fields, like you said, 6-7 quarters, been playing tremendous. If he plays at this level, I'm not saying, they're going to come back and maybe make some noise for the division. But Dill, if he could keep it up and the defense plays like they played in the first half, and Justin Fields just doesn't turn the ball over. He didn't have a crazy day. It's not like he threw 30 completions, though. He just went 15-29. That's 51%. That's not good. But he ran the ball well, 11 for 57, 4 touchdowns, 0 interception. He only had 15 completions, but 280 yards, Dill. Your playmakers got to make plays as well. So give credit to DJ Moore. Had maybe his best game of his career. I know he had
definitely.
Yeah, I know he had some good ones in Carolina. I know he had a couple 100 yards, multi-touchdowns games. But when you go for 230, 3 tubs, Dill, that's a different level. So
he's special, especially after the catch. I think after the catch is
yeah,
where he's most dangerous. I wanted to see the replay to see if he stepped out because I don't know. It was a bang bang call.
it was bang bang deal, but let's be real.
It didn't matter.
It didn't
the
matter.
game was over. But
I understand.
he
He
could have
probably
had
went.
4, and I could have had like 50 points in fantasy.
You would have had 60 because that would have been like a 60-yarder again.
Yeah.
So still, and then with Washington, I'm not going to talk too much on Washington still because it was just first half disappointing. Second half, you saw some things you were like, why the fuck they couldn't do this in the first half? So I think they just gotta get a little more balanced. Still, the running game was flat out terrible. I think Airbnb and the rest of the coaching staff have to do a little better with the running game because it was a no-show. You can't have 10 attempts for 29 yards. You just can't. So
is Ron Rivera on the hot seat?
He
has to be.
He has to be, Dale. At the end of the day, like you said, I think you said this last episode. Remember last season, he didn't know he was eliminated. He still thought he had another shot in week 17.
Yeah.
In the press conference, like he got told the news. He was like, "Oh, it's over." Oh,
yeah.
Like you saw his facial expression change, and then last week, people was like, "You gotta go for it. You're Riverboat Ron. You're not no Riverboat." So like you gotta go for it to upset Philly on the road. I understand that, people, but at the end of the day, I still think he's a great coach. Yeah. Right now, do the Commanders stink? Absolutely. But when they were 2-0 after week 2, nobody was calling for this man's job. So let's not start now.
I will say, I think he's a mediocre coach, just because outside of that 15-1 season with Carolina and Cam Newton,
I give you
he's a mediocre coach. He's a 500 coach.
He's past his prime. Let's just say, the best coaching days of Ron
are past him.
So yes, I agree with that.
So 2015, he went 15-1. They go all the way to the Super Bowl. He wins an MVP, Cam Newton. Since then, 2016, 6-10. 2017, 11-5. All right, year. 2018, 7-9. 2019, 5-7. 2020, 7-9. 2021.
Won the division. You gotta give him credit. You got won the division 2020 now.
2021, 7-10. Last year, 8-1. And now he's off 2-3. He has yet to have a winning season in the last 4 seasons with Washington, and only made the playoffs once, and that was the 7-9 year that you alluded to in 2020 when they won the division. But I think with new ownership, Joe Harris, they bring in Eric Bieniemy. I think if he doesn't turn things around, then he has to be fired, because the next 2 games are very winnable games. You're on the road for both of them, but they're winnable games at the Falcons and at the Giants.
And we can make the place. They're playing much better on the road than they are at home. We've seen these 2 performances at home against Buffalo and Chicago. Did not look good. So one last thing on Ron Rivera. One common denominator in all that throughout all those years, there was the quarterback. Give this guy a quarterback. This guy had what? Taylor Heineke, Carson Wentz, now Sam Howell. Sam Howell has the potential to be somebody, but these past 3 weeks, though, he's been looking just I'm gonna just say mediocre to be nice. So you got to get him a Pro Bowler quarterback, though. I think that's what he needs, but you got to work what you work with.
Yeah, I don't think he played that bad. He was just playing from behind most. He escaped a lot of pressure.
It was
got to give credit to Chicago's defense.
It was 17-0.
Yeah.
It was just 10-0 after the first. Like I said, then they get a first down to 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Chicago already had a double-digit lead.
Yeah, so very, very interesting. We'll see what happens with Ron Rivera and Washington. But yeah, Redskins off to a 2-3 record. They are just 1-2 at home. They won the game week 1 against the Cardinals, which they were down the whole game. So yeah, not playing all the best at home, which is very surprising there.
Yeah.
Elvis, before we get into all of our plays, let me tell you a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. It's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebrations, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick. Just like how we like our lives, whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys or an elderberry on a rainy Saturday afternoon, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, Elvis, let's get to our plays today. Week 6 in the college slate. Got a few plays for you. I'll start it off. Give me the Hook'em Horns, baby. Laying 5.5. The Red River Shootout, and that's always going to be the name, by the way. They can't change it for me. Red River Shootout at Texas, Oklahoma coming into town. I like Dylan Gabriel. I like them a little more at UCF, but I just think the kid Quinn Ewers for Texas, he's just fantastic. And I think the big difference in this game than other games is up front. Texas has some fucking boys up front. So I think they're going to get after them. I think they win by a touchdown. Should be a really good game. But for my first play, give me Texas -5.5. E, what do you got?
Dill saying, give me the Horns, hook 'em at home. Dill, line drop to -4.5, people. So
wow.
Live. It's live.
Wow.
So give me the hook 'em -4.5, people. I just put it in. Dill, I like OU. You saw me. I've been laying in with OU all season. Couple questionable ones. Dill, but them hook 'em Horns, Dill. We've been on the same page with the Horns, Dill. Them Texas is just a different level. That front is just on a different level. Some big boys they got down low, Dill. Give me the hook 'em at -4.5, -5, -5.5. It don't matter.
Yeah. And it, yeah. I got to get right back onto it. No, shout out Joey in the chat. I agree. Texas is back. I hope they make the college playoffs. It would be fun if Texas gets in there. I'm going to change it to 4.5 too, by the way. I did lay it. I'll double down and I'll lay the 4.5 too. Second play for me. Let's go out to, I think they're playing at the Coliseum. I think it's at the Rose Bowl. UCLA hosting Washington State. Washington State has been the surprise team of the country. I like their quarterback. I think they could hang around. I'm going to take the points +3.5 in my pocket with UCLA. I know the Rose Bowl, tough environment, tough crowd. They're the road team, but I like their quarterback. And I think, there's only 2 left in the I guess we shouldn't even say Pac-12 anymore. It's the Pac-2, but Washington State is literally the best one out of the 2 there. So I like Washington State. I'll take the 3.5. Could be a field goal game. So I'll take the 3.5 in my pocket for my second play. What do you got?
Dill, I like that play, by the way. Dill, my second play of the day will be, we're going to lay it on the roll. Give me Alabama in the roll tide. Dill, I've been a little lackluster with Alabama, but this week I'm going to lay it on the road, Dill. Like I said, I just had to question that quarterback, Dill. We finally got our answer. I like the kid. Give me Alabama on the road -2.5. Roll tide.
Yeah, Jalen Monroe, he's a beast. I think he is the right option for Alabama and for Nick Saban. I'm going to stay in that play. I didn't want to lay it, he's going against Jimbo, his old assistant. Usually they have this feud, and Jimbo has had his number recently, but I'm going to take the over. I think we're going to see a high-scoring game. I think Alabama will be able to get theirs, and I think Texas A&M at home going to be a hostile crowd there in Texas, College Station. So going to take the over 46.5. I think we see 50s, 55. So I think we see a shootout there. So I'm going to take the over in that game. What else you got, kid?
Dill, number 4. I mean, at 4 o'clock, Dill, dog of the day, UCF versus Kansas. Yes, Kansas Jayhawks. I'm talking about it. This is college football we're talking about, people. Give me the Jayhawks +108 on the money line, Dill. I respect UCF, but Jayhawks are just playing a little bit. Dill, that NIL deal could make a lot of teams happy. Jayhawks has been a Power 5 school. Now they're going to be a powerhouse in college football as well, Dill. I'm glad to see it, by the way. Give me the dog of the day, Kansas Jayhawks +108 at home.
So I got 2 back-to-back for you. First one before that Kansas game, I'm going to take UNC at home, Drake May. I think this is a great spot for them. Syracuse, I was high on them, but now they got blown out last week. They're kind of a little fraudulent. They got some injuries. I'm worried now they're going to Chapel Hill to face Drake May, who should be a top 5 pick. I just think it's a bad spot. I'll lay the 8.5 with the Tar Heels. And yeah, I agree. I took Kansas plus the 2, but if you want to just take them outright, I like that. They're not a basketball school anymore. They're putting millions of dollars into their football program, and it's succeeding. Bob Stoops is the coach. Got the boys playing. I like that they lost last week. It's a big bounce back here in Lawrence, Kansas. So give me the Jayhawks plus 2 if you want to take them on the money line. So I gave you 2 right there. I have 2 left. What do you got, kid?
Dill, my last one of the day will be a 2-way teaser. So I don't know if you got action in these 2 games, because I know you know my play. I'd rather you just say the plays and then I hit them with the teaser.
All right. Yeah. So I got 2 plays left. One of them, give me the Colorado Buffaloes, baby. Minus 3.5. I think it's still at 3.5, or correct me if I'm wrong. Is it
It's
at
at 3.5. It's at 3.5.
3.5. I'll lay it with Colorado on the road against Arizona State. 2 back-to-back really tough losses, but I think we've seen much improvement from that Oregon loss to the USC loss. I think Colorado, Shedeur Sanders, he's very smart with the ball. He did have his first interception the other week, but I think that offense could hang, and I think they're going to hang a lot of points on Arizona. So I'm going to take Colorado, laying the points on the road. And usually I don't like to lay points on the road, but I got to lay it again. Give me Notre Dame, minus 6.5 on the road against Louisville. I know Louisville's a very good team. Their quarterback's going to be in the NFL. I think he's a very dual threat. Kind of reminds me of like a little Lamar, but tough place to play, Louisville. But I just think Notre Dame, Sam Hartman, I thought that was one of the best transfer moves to get Sam Hartman. They finally have a quarterback. I think they're one of the most complete teams. And I hate to say, because my Ohio State team not dogged them, but they won last second. They were losing the whole game. Notre Dame should have won that game. They played the last 2 plays with 10 players on the field. So I like the coach. I like Sam Howell. I think they win by a touchdown in Louisville. So last 2 plays, Notre Dame minus 6.5 and Colorado minus 3.5.
Dill, let's end it off with a 2-way 6-point teaser, Dill. Let's kick it off with the Colorado Buffaloes, Dill. They're at minus 3.5. We teased them up to plus 3.5, Dill. I don't see it. No way they lose this game more than 3. I got them winning outright, Dill. We playing it safe today. And then, to me, one of the best matchups of the day, Dill. I had to touch on it because I'll probably be tuning in, Dill. Kentucky Wildcats. You get them at plus 14.5. You tease them up to plus 20, Dill. I understand they're on the road, but they're not going to lose by 20. And, Dill, I don't want to be saying anything too loud, but I think they're live dogs. Give me Kentucky to plus 20, Colorado to plus 3.5, 2-way 6-point teaser, Dill.
Wow. I'm actually shocked. I like the teaser. My worry, I think everyone's banging on Georgia. You know, they're starting off slow. They started off slow last week. They started off slow against South Carolina. I think at home against a very good Kentucky team, I was actually going to lay it with Georgia, just because I think Georgia is going to start putting it all together. And Athens is a very, very tough place to play. And got to give credit to Kentucky. They ran the fucking hell out of the ball last week against Florida. I mean, they're a very good team. They're another basketball school that has put a lot of money into their football program. And Kentucky, after the last few years, they've been slowly creeping in. They're a top 20 team now. I think they could hang around maybe the first half, but I do think the Bulldogs want Brock Bowers. That tight end is the best tight end in the country. He's going to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. So I don't know. The only reason I worry and I laid away from the game is because I think Kirby Smart and all the players, they're hearing the noise. Oh, Georgia's not the same Georgia team. They're going to start putting it together. And then when they do that, they're going to be a scary team. Well,
no disrespect to Georgia, Dill, but they're not. With the last 2 seasons, we saw the Georgia Bulldogs were special. Those are going to be the some of the greatest teams we've seen in recent history.
Defensively, especially, yes.
Yeah, so they're not. They're a good team, but we're disrespecting the last 2 national championships teams. If we're saying this team is on that level.
No, I agree. They're not. They're not the same team at all, but they're still fucking very good.
No, they're still good, Dill, but there's not. Yeah. Those are all time
The difference with Bama, Georgia, even Texas to a certain point, USC, they don't recruit. They reload. They have 5 stars sitting. You know what I mean? So they're always going to be really good. But Elvis, should be a really good weekend in college football. Can't wait to watch the Red River Shootout. Good luck there. Let's go on over to the NFL Week 5. They finally fixed it. They only have about 6-7 games on the 1 o'clock slate. Then they have, I honestly think the 4 o'clock slate is much better.
It's about time.
It's about time. They're finally listening to us, kid. Let's start over across the pond in Tottenham Stadium, where the Buffalo Bills travel across the pond to host the Jacksonville Jaguars. Buffalo Bills are the home team, but Jacksonville, they played last week in Wembley Stadium. They stayed over, so they got kind of the advantage there, I would say. Josh Allen did come out and say he's extremely tired. So we'll see how that really affects them. Right now, Buffalo's laying 5.5, minus 240 on the money line, plus 198 for Jacksonville, plus 5.5. Over under is at 48.5. I just feel like this could be a letdown spot for the Bills. You know, can the Jags keep up in a shootout? I think that's the main question. Bills secondary kind of hurt a little bit. I don't know. The side is very tricky. I feel like if they can compete and keep up in the shootout, I feel like you got to take the points with the Jags. But I feel like I'm more on the over. I feel like it could be a shootout. Feels like an over game. Josh Allen has looked tremendous since week 2. I like Trevor Lawrence. I like the weapons they have. Calvin Ridley's kind of been quiet after week 1. But other than that, Christian Kirk has had a really good. Evan Ingram has had good weeks. Travis Etienne as well. So it feels like an over game. Nothing official. That's the way I would lean towards the over. I'm going to stay away, though, from this game.
Still, I'm going to lay the 5.5 with the Buffalo Bills. Still, I understand this is essentially a home game. Well, more of a home game for Jacksonville than it is Buffalo, even though Buffalo's the home team, Dill. But like you said, Dill, I think I'm going to lean more. This game is more of a shootout than we expect it to be. And let's just face it, Dill. Jacksonville hasn't showed us anything so far this season that they got the firepower to keep up with Buffalo, Dill. That, I understand they just lost Tre'Davious White, arguably one of the best corners in football, Dill, but that defense is still at another level. Von Miller might take some snaps tomorrow morning, people. I hope he does. I hope he does and he looks good, Dill. That offense is just playing at another level. Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, even James Cook. It's James Cook. He's playing pretty good, Dill. So I like what I'm seeing from Buffalo. I like the Jacksonville Jaguars as well, though. But their offense has just been a little lackluster this whole season this far, Dill. You know, they didn't explode last week. They didn't really explode this all season long. And I agree with you, Dill. Ever since week 1, kind of really been really quiet. I understand he got a touchdown last week, but he only caught 2 balls for about 40 yards in that touchdown, Dill. So I just don't see Jacksonville able to keep up with Buffalo's offense. If you tell me Jacksonville is going to shut them out, you know, just have a defensive game, by all means, they're live. But I just feel like Buffalo right now is at another level.
Yeah, they were saying he has a game time decision, Von Miller, but they said if he does play, he will be on a snap count, which you understand. He's his first game back. He just tore his ACL.
He should only play like second downs. Fuck it, you know.
Next game on the slate, 1 o'clock. Oh, by the way, that's a 9:30 Eastern start, so set your alarms early, just like last week. Gonna be. Is there another Toy Story?
It might be. Hey, you know, it might be.
Shout out them and shout out Slinky the dog. I'm down for that again.
Greatest first marker of all time.
Let's go out to Atlanta. The Falcons hosting the Houston Texans. Kind of a pick 'em right now. Falcons short favorite at home, minus 126 on the money line. Minus 1.5 is at minus 115. You want to take Texas plus 1.5, minus 105. Plus 108 on the money line. Over under is at 41.5. Give me Texas money line. I took him at plus 110. They were actually the favorite in the line flip. And I'm also going to take CJ Stroud over 246 passing yards. He's hit this in the last three games in a row. Opening day, he hit 242, so it was just 4 yards underneath the number. And the main reason why I'm taking Texans, I feel like they're playing better football right now. And Atlanta is traveling back from London. And typically when teams come back from London and don't have a bye, their defense winds up struggling. I know they're at home. I think they have the better offense in Texas. They're clicking right now. They definitely have the better quarterback. And defensively, I think they're a little better than the Falcons right now. D'Amico Ryans, it looks like he's creating a very good culture in Houston. So I think they're the overall better team. I understand why it's a pick 'em. They're gonna give the home team a slight advantage, which is why Atlanta's the favorite, which I understand. But give me the plus money and with Houston on the money line. I think they win outright, and I think CJ Stroud has another big game, over 246 yards.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said, though. Besides, they're a little better of a defense. I think they're much better of a defense, still. Give me the Houston Texans on the money line on the road, plus 110 versus Atlanta. Still, like you said, I've been leaning CJ Stroud over, and it's been cashing. I don't know why I haven't went to the window yet. I might go to the window with it tomorrow, so I'll lean that as well, Dill. But Houston is just the right side. Defensively, they're playing great. We've seen it throughout the season. Starting week 1 against Baltimore, Lamar struggled in that game. I think Desmond Ridder is going to struggle in this game, even at home, Dill. Defense is playing great. CJ Stroud is playing much better than anybody anticipated. He's shocking me. I know he's shocking you. I think he's top 5, top 4 in passing yards as a rookie. Give me Houston Texans on the money line, people.
I took the Houston Texans in this week to make the playoffs, over 7.5 wins, and CJ Stroud to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. So hopefully those all cash. Let's go.
The only opposition right now looking is the dude he's facing, Bijan Robinson. So only one really.
And honestly, I think they're live for the division. I'm gonna go out on an island and say they're live.
Jacksonville's 2-2, Dill. They're tied for first, and Colts 2-2.
They're 2-2 as well. Who would have thought? I think.
I'm telling you, Jacksonville doesn't look good.
I understand that. Forget about them. I'm saying the 2 rookies in the division, and we thought they would. I'm not going to speak for everyone. I thought C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, I thought they would be good, but I thought it would take time. They're both ahead of schedule, and I think they're playing better than Bryce Young.
Yeah, I'll say that much. I put it like this, Dill. I'm not going to blame Bryce Young. All I'm going to say is their teams are much better than what Bryce
100%. 100%.
Like, offensive lines, you know.
He has no weapons besides Adam Thielen.
Colts offensive line is a top 10 offensive line. You know, Jonathan Taylor might be coming back this week. That's another weapon. Michael Pittman Jr. is a stud. You know, and then with Houston, CJ Stroud can sling it. We know what Dameon Pierce did last season. That defense led by D'Amico Ryans, fucking great. And then, Dill, these wide receivers like Nico Collins, Bell, like these dudes are showing out.
Yeah, 100%. So, I wanted to make that real point real quick. Let's go on over to Carolina. They are on the road in the Motor City taking on Detroit Lions. Lions laying 9.5 at home. Plus 385 on the return for Carolina if you want to take the outright dog. Over-under is at 43.5. Going back to reliable, give me Adam Thielen over 4.5 receptions. I would even ladder up to 5 or 6 catches for plus money. He's by far the best receiver. He has the most chemistry with Bryce Young. He's gone over this number in 3 straight games, catching 7, 11, and 7 balls. So he's the one that Bryce Young trusts the most. Obviously should. He's the best receiver they have. And trading DJ Moore has really honestly hurt Bryce Young, to be honest. I know they never played with each other, but look how much it's helped Justin Fields. I think having a guy like DJ Moore would really help a young guy like Bryce Young. So I'm no play. I'm not gonna lay the 9.5 with Dallas. They are the right side. Maybe you want to tease them down to like 3.5, maybe 3, but that's about it. I do like Adam Thielen over 4.5 receptions though. Again,
Detroit. I ended up teasing Detroit down to -3.5. Though I don't know if you know, Amon St. Brown most likely will be out for this game. He's listed as doubtful as of right now, so that's a little concerning to me. I just feel like Amon St. Brown is just a dangerous weapon. Dill, I think he takes the offense to that next level. Dill, and him not being in the lineup, I think it's gonna hurt him a little bit. I'm not saying they're gonna lose the game, but to cover 9.5, I don't know. I think that's a little high. Dill. I'm gonna take the -3.5 with the Lions Dill, so I'm gonna tease them down. And then I'm gonna lean the rookie Laporta once again over 53.5. Leaned him last week, should have went to the window. He went over. Like I said, no Monte Brown, so I think he goes to a familiar weapon in the regular Porta, and then Reynolds, he's at 43.5 as well. I understand Jameis Williams is coming back deal this week, but I don't expect him to be a major target getter, especially his first week back in action. So I'll lean Reynolds over 43.5 and Laporta 53.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, they still got a bunch of weapons. It does hurt them a little bit. I do agree. The 9.5 seems a little large. I know they're at home and Carolina's defeated, but it's still covering double digits is hard in the NFL. Let's go to the Indianapolis Colts, the team we were just talking about. They're at home hosting the Tennessee Titans. Titans laying 2.5 on the road, -135 on the money line, +116 for the home. Colts over under is at 42. I'll let you lead this one off, kid. What do you got?
Dill, give me the points in my back pocket, Dill. A little sprinkle on the money line, Dill. Give me the Indianapolis Colts +2.5 at home, Dill. Don't get me wrong. Who was the more impressive team last week? It was the Tennessee Titans by 1,000 miles, Dill. Let's be honest. But I just feel like it's going to be hard to duplicate that, especially on the road versus a pretty solid defense in the Indianapolis Colts. And Dill, honestly, Anthony Richardson looked bad in the first half of last week against the Rams still. But let's not take too lightly what he did in the second half. He had a tremendous, great half, Dill. I expect him to come out with some of that fire in the second half, in the first half of this game, Dill. And I expect the Colts to take control. Give me the Colts +2.5, and let me get a sprinkle on the money line at +116.
Couldn't disagree more. Give me the Tennessee Titans on the money line. I just think overall they're a much better team. They've had some success, the Colts, this season. Their defense is playing better than I anticipated. Anthony Richardson is playing much better than I thought as well. But Tennessee is just, I feel like overall they're more of a complete team. They're better coached, I think, in Variable. They have a better defense, I think, running the ball. Even if Jonathan Taylor comes back, he's nowhere near King Henry. So, and I know it's hard to come out of my mouth, but I do trust Tannehill a little more than Anthony Richardson right now. So I'm going to take Tennessee on the money line, -130. And I also have two player props. Chris Moore, 4-year vet out of Cincinnati. Give me over 28.5 receiving yards, and his over longest receptions, 15.5. Treylon Burks, guy from TCU, the receiver, is out. And last week, when he was out, Chris Moore played 72% of his snaps in his absence. So 6 of Moore's 8 targets this year have come 20+ yards down the field. So this is outrageous. I feel like he's averaging 33 yards per catch. So I feel like a general rule for at least me, if a guy's averaging over 30 yards per catch, I have to go and bet his over yardage when it's at least that. So his yardage is at 28.5. And I got to go over that because, like I said, he's averaging 30 yards a catch, and his longest reception is at 15.5. So Indianapolis is tied for the league lead in 20+ yard passes allowed this season at 19. They've allowed 19 passes completed for more than 20+ yards. So secondary is kind of an issue for me. I think they could exploit that just a little. Give me Chris Moore over 28.5 receiving yards. His longest reception over 15.5 receiving yards, and give me Tennessee Titans on the money line. Let's go out to Miami, the biggest spread on the day. We don't have to talk long about this one. Miami Dolphins laying 12.5 on the at home against the G-Men, +500 for the Giants, over under at 47.5. If you see him at the DMV, boo his ass. Evan, Don LeGrec he's a gem. I love that, man. Even though he calls games for the Rangers, this man. Because honestly, I think he's correct. Like, he might be over the top just a little, but what he's saying is facts. You're a first round pick, but you're blocking your own man. You're a poor blocker. And how dare you? The funniest thing in the rant was, there are doctors in the stands. There are architects in the stand who build bridges. And then at the end, he goes, I hope in your next job, you're flipping burgers and I'll spit in it. Like Rekka's the legend, but I really don't have much in this game, to be honest. I mean, it's an ugly game. Honestly, I would lay the points with the Fish. I think they come out swinging at home after a tough loss to the Bills last week. Giants just can't get anything offensively going. I don't know if Barkley's going to play. That hinders them as well. Darren Waller hasn't looked himself. Daniel Jones doesn't look like he's seeing the field well. It's just a struggle right now. So I honestly, if anything, I would lay the points.
Still, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. Give me Devon Achane anytime touchdown at -120. My favorite play of the game. The only thing I'm gonna be tuning in for. Dill. The Giants doesn't look good. Miami been looking incredible. I understand they kind of stutter stepped in Buffalo, Dill, but I'm not gonna hang my hat on it. Give me. I'm not even gonna lay it. I'm not laying the points, by the way. Just give me Devon Achane anytime touchdown -120.
His rushing prop was short too. It was like at
Yeah.
47,
Yeah, but
48.
Mostert is the number one, and I think Devon is more of like the goal line back, and that's why I'm doing the.
But
And
even
bro,
though
he has like
200,
he has six touchdowns already, 5 touchdowns already, something like that. So
he rushed for 300 yards, over 300 yards in 2 games. He's going crazy.
hey,
So
bro,
yeah, very they got something there in that running back room in Miami. Let's go to the next game. Big game in the AFC North. Pittsburgh Steelers hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens laying 4.5 on the road, plus 4.5 for the Steelers at home, plus 176 on the money line. Over under is at 38.5. I will say this before I kick it to you. You did mention it earlier in the show. Lamar kind of struggling. I think he's quietly having one of his best seasons. 8 touchdowns. He has 1 interception. The Ravens are 3-1, and he's still leading the NFL in rushing. His completion percentage, career high, 74.3. His career best before this 4-game stretch was at 63%. He's completed at least 70% of his passes each game this season, which he's the only quarterback to ever do that this season, complete 70% of his passes in all of his games. So I think the new offensive coordinator, Todd Monken from Georgia, has really helped Lamar. I will say that before I let you go. I just wanted to get that out there because I've heard, not just you, I've heard other people say, Lamar still has to play better.
He just got to clean it up. You got to clean it up, though. He's still sloppy with the ball, still making bad decisions, like the sack to end the game while Justin Tucker had a shot to win it. And you lose that game. That was just a bad decision. You got to get rid of the ball. Stuff like he had a couple fumbles where the team was able to recover. He could have lost 3-4 fumbles already this season. I'm just saying he's not playing bad. He's playing a little too sloppy for my liking. That's all. I picked Lamar to win the MVP. I picked the Ravens in the Super Bowl. I'm holding him to a high standard, though. I got him in
picking him here.
Yeah, I'm just not laying it, though. With that being said, I ended up teasing the Baltimore Ravens down just because they're on the road. Gotta respect the Pittsburgh Steelers and that defense. Gotta respect Mike Tomlin, Dill. So I'm not gonna lay it on the road, but I do think Baltimore walk out victorious still. I think Baltimore wins a 3-point game. I think it's gonna be nip and tuck, possibly like a 20-17 game. Maybe, something. I think it's gonna be low scoring, Dill. The over-under's at 38. So I think 20-17 is around what I feel. I think Lamar just gonna lead him to victory, like you said. He's doing it with his arms and his legs. Still, to me, he just got to be a little more protective of the ball. That's all. Still, Kenny Pickett, I'm starting to lose him.
He's paying though. By the way,
I know, but I'm starting to lose it with him. Still, I'm starting to I saw him moments at last year. To me, he looked better last year than he did this year. So
is it him or Matt Canada? Because I think some of the blame has to go on Matt Canada. They're not calling the right plays.
No.
Why on 4th down are you in shotgun, rolling out on a choice route?
Yeah, I agree with you, but Dill, could we at least agree that Kenny Pickett's a little more better on the move than just standing in the pocket?
I would disagree. I would actually have him as a pocket passer. I agree. He has some to blame, but it has to be 50-50. It can't all be on the quarterback.
All I'm saying is, through the first 4 games of the season, he has regressed from last season. So, don't get me wrong. Would I lean the plus 4.5 with the Steelers? Yes, just because I think their defense is going to keep them in the game. It's a tough secondary. That front 7, one of the best in football. It's just I don't trust Kenny Pickett enough to take the plus 4.5. So give me Baltimore Ravens to plus 2.5 in a 2-way teaser where I will show y'all in a few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how comfortable I am laying the points on the road here either. Yeah. I do like the Ravens a lot, and like I said, I do think Lamar is playing well. Tomlin and the boys, They always play the Ravens extremely tough, especially at Heinz Field. It wouldn't surprise me, like you said, if it was a 3-point game at the end. Pickett will play. I actually lean under. I think it should be a very low scoring game.
38 is crazy. Like, don't get me wrong.
But even 20-17, like you said.
No, that's what I'm saying. Even though I said 38 is crazy, I said 2017. But it's still
I can even see 17-14.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I could see Justin Tucker kicking 4 field goals. They win 16-10.
Yeah, I do think it should be a low. It always is a low scoring game between these two teams, and the underdog historically has done better and has covered more times than none. So that does worry me off of the Ravens just a little. But official play here, I like Zay Flowers over 43.5 receiving yards, -114. Flowers has hit this in all 4 games, and Pittsburgh defense allows the 4th most yards to the wide receivers. I like their front 7. TJ Watt is he's top 5. He's top 3, if
2.
that. And I think he will get pressure on him. That's not my concern. My concern is when the pocket breaks down and Lamar starts to scramble, that secondary is going to be in width. So don't like their secondary as much, but I will go Zay Flowers over 43.5 receiving yards. He could have a big game. The number seems a little small for me.
Same deal. I ended up taking Zay Flowers over 43.5 receiving yards. Mark Andrews had a big game last week. We know Mike Tomlin is going to try to take away their best offensive weapon. That is Mark Andrews. I think Zay Flowers will get a lot of one-on-one options on the outside, and I think he'll win a lot of those one-on-one battles. The number's just too short. Give me over 43.5.
Last game on the 1 o'clock slate in New England, the Patriots hosting the Saints. Patriots kind of a pick 'em, short favorites, -1 at home, -116 on the money line. Derek Carr and the Saints -102, +1. Over under is at 39. Yeah, ugly game. The only way I guess I would ever bet on the Pats before was their defense. They just lost Judon. They lost their rookie Jackson or Gonzalez, excuse me. They picked up JC Jackson back. I just want nothing to do with this game. If anything, I do lean Saints just because I think offensively, I don't know if they'd be able to keep up. Should be a low scoring game though. Lean Saints if anything, but nothing official.
Dill, I do agree with you on one thing. It should be a low-scoring game, but Dill, give me New England Patriots on the money line. Last week, Derek Carr did not look good. I know he has a shoulder injury. He was a game-time decision last week, Dill, so maybe the injury is a little bigger deal than we expect it to be. I don't expect him to look any good this week, Dill. I understand our defense going to be a little riddled. Without Matthew Judon, without Christian Gonzalez, we do get J.C. Jackson, and he will be in the lineup, though. He was a Patriots just 2 years ago, so he's going to fit right back in. We got the same system. It's just Derek Carr in this offense throughout the whole season. It could be against the Panthers. It could be against Tampa Bay. They're not putting up the points that we saw put them up even last year with the 4 quarterbacks still. The defense ain't my concern. The defense is good. We know the defense is going to create pressure. We know Tyrann Mathieu, Lattimore in the secondary. They're studs. It's just offensively, Derek Carr in this offense, even with Kamara coming back, they just haven't really put it together. And now with the shoulder injury on top of it, to go on the road and go sneak one out, I think you're asking a little too much from Derek Carr and the Saints. Give me the New England Patriots at home -1, or if you want to just take them on the money line -112.
4 o'clock slate, we will head to the desert. Arizona Cardinals hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals laying 3 on the road, -172 on the money line, +144 for the home puppy. Arizona Cardinals over under at 44.5. Elvis, I mean, how can anyone take the Bengals at this point? I think the Cardinals are a good teaser spot up to +9.
Dill, give me the Cardinals +3 at home. I understand on paper Cincinnati should win this game by 10. But what we've seen through the first 4 weeks of the season, Dill, is not that. I understand Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon. Defense is pretty good. The offensive line still fucking sucks. Arizona, like you said, Dill, you've been saying it since, I think, week 2. They're in every game. They're competitive. James Conner is going to run the ball. Dobbs, fucking pretty good.
Looks really good.
He looks really good. That defense is good. It's not great. It's not, top 10, but it's not like it's a bottom 10 defense either, Dill. We just saw what they held the Cowboys to just 2 weeks ago. So, Dill, give me Arizona +3 at home, Dill. It sucks to say. Took the words out my mouth, Dill. I think they're live. If they beat the Cowboys, I wouldn't be shocked if they beat the Bengals, the 1-3 Bengals.
We said the Bengals it's time to worry now. If they go on the road and lose to Arizona, I don't think it's panic time. I think the season might be done. Am I wrong?
It all depends, though, because if, Baltimore loses to Pittsburgh, no.
Okay.
But if the Baltimore's 5-1, Cleveland comes back from their bye week, they keep winning, then yes. But if Baltimore lose as well tomorrow, no. But if they win, they're 5-1, and you're 4 games back, I think it's gonna be tough to overcome. They might still be live for a playoff spot. They could probably reel it around, go, finish 9-8, possibly sneak in. But
Joe Burrow just has to get healthy, and their offensive line, you mentioned it. They picked up Orlando Brown, like a really good offensive lineman, and they still stink. So, yeah, I just don't know. I from what I see, the eye test, like on paper, you're right. Obviously, they have all the talent in the world, but just from what I'm seeing, they're just not clicking. And it looks like a team that hasn't practiced at all, to be honest.
Yeah. And one last thing, Dill.
Yeah.
This kid, after post game, said, "I'm always fucking open." And I'm going to hold them accountable, Dill. Give me Jamar Chase over. 78.5 receiving yards at -115, Dill. After a statement like that, we saw our boy A.J. Brown. I'm not going to say I'm going to just say he talked to his quarterback on the sideline. Look, next 2 weeks, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns in 2 weeks. Dill, I think Jamar Chase made his voice heard. I think he gets the ball. Something like we saw 2 weeks ago. Remember, he got like 13 targets or something like that. Yeah. I think he gets over 10 targets, over 100 yards. Give me Jamar Chase over 70.5.
Yeah, no bad blood. It's just a healthy debate. He's letting you know he's always fucking open.
That's all. He made a statement that's very accurate.
Yeah. I just don't know if Joe Burrow could get him the ball right now. I think he's hurt. Anyway, let's go out to the next game in SoFi. Should be a very good game, I think. Los Angeles Rams hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles laying 4.5 on the road. +168 for the home dogs. Los Angeles Rams over under at 50.5. Cooper Kupp is back. Gonna be on a limit count. But should be very interesting. I think offensively they can hang around with the Eagles, So if I am betting aside, I would take the home team, the Rams catching the 4.5, even a tease. I think teasing them up to 10.5. I think that's a good play. But my official play, going back to all reliable, give me Matt Stafford over 269 passing yards. Philly, they've been a force stopping the run. Their D-line, the Georgia's D-line, basically. They've only allowed 63 rushing yards per game. That's one of the best in the NFL. But on the other side, they've given up the 6th most passing yards to opposing quarterbacks. Sam Howell threw for 290. Kirk Cousins threw for 364. Mac Jones threw for 316. So, no disrespect. I'm just saying, all these guys are throwing close to 300, if not more.
Listen, if they could do it, Matt Stafford's going to do it.
Matt Stafford's been very busy this year. 3rd most quarterback snaps through 4 weeks. He's cleared this number. He's cleared 300 yards in 3 of his 4 games, and he's done it with Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell. And now Stafford gets his main receiving weapon, Cooper Kupp, back. While I do expect he'll be on a snap count, he'll be limited. Just his presence out there on the field alone, I think it should open up the targets for Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell, even Tyler Higbee as well in the tight end slot. So I think he has a great matchup. I think Matthew Stafford has a great matchup against his secondary. And I think they have a bunch of weapons. I think it could be a shootout as well. So my official play is I'm going to take Matthew Stafford over his passing yards, 269. But gun to my head, I would lean the Rams plus the 4.5.
I think we're thinking alike in this one, though, and I think I like it. I got no official play on the side. If I had to, gun to my head, I'm going to go with the Rams plus 4.5 at home, though. I just feel like Eagles, they snuck one out last week. I think they got real lucky. We saw them get real lucky against Minnesota, Dill. I think they finally slip up and lose, Dill. I think the Rams are live dogs at home, Dill. So I'm going to lean the Rams plus 4.5. Also on a little bit on the money line, Dill. But my favorite play of this game is Jalen Hurts over 241.5 passing yards. This offense finally getting it going. Though last week I think he had 319. The week before that 271. So I expect him to be somewhere between that, like 260, 320 around there. I lean with you, though. I do expect it to be somewhat of a shootout. I expect Matt Stafford in that offense to put up points, and I expect the Eagles and Jalen Hurts to put up points as well. If I had to pick a side, I'll lean the +4.5 with the Rams. But give me Jalen Hurts over 241.5.
Let's go out to Minnesota, see if they could make it 2 wins in a row. Vikings hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs laying 3.5 on the road, -188 on the money line. +3.5 for the Vikings, +158. Over under is at 52.5. This one was a total stay away game for me, to be honest. I could go back to old reliable, take Kirk Cousins over 1.5 passing touchdowns, but it's at -190. I'm not going to give that out. It's too chalky. I guess Chiefs, if anything. I know I don't like to lay points on the road, but I just think they're the more complete team. I think Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, they're going to take how they played in MetLife personally. They didn't really they played their worst game of the season. I think going back on the road against a defense that I know we like Brian Flores, but that defense has not looked good. I think Patrick Mahomes can have a nice bounce back day. So lean Chiefs, if anything, but no official play for me in this one.
Still, I'm with you. It was a tough time picking this game just because, I think Patrick Mahomes and this offense is going to show out against this Minnesota defense still. And I think it's a tough task for Minnesota, the +3.5. If anything, tease Minnesota up just because I think Minnesota is going to be in the game. But can Kansas City win like 34-27? Yeah. Can they win 30-23? Yeah. So it wouldn't shock me if Kansas City wins by a touchdown. So I'm not going to lay it because I don't trust it just because last week it didn't look too good, but I expect them to bounce right back. And, dude, your boy Kirk Cousins just been fucking slinging it all year. So it might be a shootout. So I also lean the over as well with you, Dill. But I do think Kansas City can cover the 3.5. So if it was 2.5, or even if Kansas City was at home -3.5, I would have laid it. But I ended up just staying away. If anything, I'll lean Patty Mahomes over 290, just because he only threw for 180 something last week. He got to show. He got to throw for 300 this week against Minnesota.
Maybe first half spread -2. I think they could go in at halftime maybe up by 3. I guess that's a way I would look at it as well if you don't want to lay the 3.5. Real quick, a report that came out, I think yesterday, they offered Justin Jefferson a franchise contract, breaking all the bank, but he declined it because he doesn't know the quarterback situation. Is Kirk Cousins going to be here long term? Yeah. Are they going to trade him? He didn't know, so he wants some clarification and he seems a little bit frustrated, to be honest.
And let's just be real. We know with some of these star receivers, their success comes off their quarterback.
100%.
He knows deep down. At the end of Justin Jefferson, he's not stupid. He knows deep down his numbers are going to dip if his Kirk Cousins is not his quarterback. He's gonna unless he goes to Kansas City or the Rams with Matt Stafford
or the Giants. I had to throw a shot there. Had to. Come on. Let's go to the better team in New York, the New York Jets on the road against the Denver Broncos.
I'll give you that, Dale. I'll give you that. Slightly better. I'll give you that.
I wouldn't say slightly. I would say a little. 2.5, -132 on the money line, +2.5 for the Jets, +112. Over under is at 43. Elvis, tell Sean Payton keep talking that hot shit. Tell him, could we go see him real soon tomorrow? So, I got to take the Jets here. +2.5, plus on the money line, +112. I like Salah came out today a couple days ago and said no more limiting Breece Hall. He's not on a pitch count anymore. So we're gonna try to force feed him. So should open up the play action in the run game a little more, which I think should be effective. That's when Breece Hall is going back to the place where he tore his ACL last season, but he broke out and had a huge game before tearing his ACL. So I think he could have a big game, Breece Hall, tomorrow. But I just think they have the worst defense in the NFL. And I think if the Jets could score 23 to 27 points, I think our defense could hold them down and we should win this game on the road. So I think we're the better team. We definitely don't have the better quarterback, but I think piece-wise, like talent-wise, defensively, I think we're better. I think weapons-wise, I think we're better. Running back, get rid of fucking Dalvin Cook, but I do think running back Javonte Williams did get down with an injury last weekend, so I do think running back room we're healthier. Offensive line, probably not, but other than that, I think if Zach Wilson can kind of emulate like he did last year, last 2 games, didn't turn the ball over, make good plays, get the ball out quick. Nathaniel Hackett needs to come out. Revenge game for Nathaniel Hackett too, by the way. Give me the Jets on the money line and plus 2.5.
Still, this is a tough game to come down on just because it's. I don't want to discredit any team, but it's 2 evenly matched teams, you could say.
We're not even. You can't say that.
Still, I can honestly say Denver's the favorite.
Yeah, because they're home.
Yeah, but if they were at MetLife, you think there'll be a 2.5?
I think we would be a favorite by 1. It'd kind of be like what you guys are against the Saints. Usually for home field advantage, they give you a point or 2 for home field.
Exactly. So you'll get 1 point at home while Denver gets 2.5. I'm just saying the evenly match. I'm not saying Denver's better at all. I'm just saying, to me, these is 2 evenly matched ball clubs. I think Jets are a little better way better defensively. It's just offensively. Can Zach Wilson repeat what he did last week? We saw, not for nothing, Russell's been playing much better this season thus far. I understand it's not adding up to wins, but he's playing pretty good, Dill. I know the Denver Broncos are going to be able to put up some points on the board. It's just, if Zach Wilson shows up what Lee did last week, Jets are winning this game. No ifs, ands, or doubts. Jets are winning. If this guy goes for 230, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, they win in this game. So it's the question of which version of Zach Wilson we're going to see. Are we going to see the deer in headlights Zach Wilson, or are we going to see that calm, cool Zach Wilson we saw last week? Because the kid I saw last week, I haven't seen since BYU. He was confident. He was throwing those balls. Dill, you said it. Those balls on the sideline to Lazard, Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson. Those are great throws. Why he doesn't do it consistently, and that's the heartache that we keep getting. So, if we see 200 plus yards, 2 touchdowns, interceptions, Jets win this game. With that being said, that's what I expect them to do. Maybe not 0 interceptions, but I do expect them to go for 20 yards again. I do expect them to go for 2 touchdowns. I do expect Breece Hall to be a little better, to be a little more active with the play calling. And I expect the Jets defense to be the Jets defense, which is a top 5 defense still. Giving the New York Jets plus 2.5 on the road.
Sunday Night Football, best game on the whole day, I think. 2 top 5 teams, top 3 teams in the NFC. 49ers hosting the Dallas Cowboys. 49ers laying 3.5 at home, minus 184. Plus 152 for the Cowboys, plus 3.5. Over under is at 45. I laid the 3.5 at home. I don't think offensively they could hang around the Cowboys. Dak has looked okay, but nothing too impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Running, I don't think they have the running game San Francisco does. I think his yardage prop, I understand why it's low, Christian McCaffrey, because they have a good defense in Minka Parsons. They got Lawrence down there as well, but I still think all that run, I think Brock Purdy's going to take care of the ball. I think they're going to torch that secondary with Debo. Debo's healthy again. Brandon Ayuk. They got George Kittle. I think offensively, I don't think they could match up, especially at home, San Francisco. This is their first test for both teams. I know Dallas lost to Arizona, but first big test for both teams. And the 49ers have had the Cowboys number, knocked them out of the playoffs in 2 straight years. They just have their number. I'm going to take the better team at home, laying the 3.5. I think they win by a touchdown.
Like you said, marquee matchup of the weekend. Glad it's a standalone Sunday night game, Dill. This matchup, I love this game, Dill. I ended up staying away from the side, Dill. I do think 49ers is the right side. It's just the hook. That's what kills me. I'll take the push with the -3. I think it's going to be a field goal game. I I just think the Cowboys want this game a little more than the 49ers. Like you said, the 49ers bounced them twice from the playoffs back-to-back years. We saw Zeke last play as a Cowboy embarrassing. He went up 1-7 against the 49ers. I just feel like the Cowboys are going to come out, show out, and definitely want this game a little more than the 49ers. But the 49ers are just a flat-out better team. Defensively, offensively, like you said, Dak hasn't really done much to show you he could go out there and beat this 49ers team. He had one chance to come back from a win this season, and he failed miserably in Arizona. And you're telling me he's going to go till the 49ers and upset this team where Brock Purdy and CMC hasn't lost a game together when they start and finish. Kyle Shanahan is the way better coach. Defensive front, the 49ers, I just feel like Dak might throw another interception deal. With that being said, I end up staying away from the side. I will, if anything, I take the money line, but I'm not about to tell you people lay minus 180. I'm gonna take the tight end Ferguson Dill over 30 and a half receiving yards. This number is too short, and like I said, Dill, I think that front is gonna provide so much pressure. He's not gonna be able to throw it outside to CD Lamb or Dalvin Cook. He's gonna have to dump it off the middle and get those short gains with the tight end and Ferguson. And I think Ferguson ends up with like 6-7 receptions, where about 40 to 50 yards, Dill.
Is it fair to say Brock Purdy's playing better than Dak Prescott?
It's more than fair. This kid hasn't thrown an interception, and he's undefeated.
I love it. He's a top 10 quarterback. I love it. Elvis, good luck. Should be an amazing game Sunday night. I can't wait for that. Let's get on over to the NBA, the hardwood. We haven't touched the NBA in a while. Season starts on October 24th. It's a Tuesday, so little over 2 weeks, 2 weeks and about a few days to go until the first game. But before then, we'll have some futures for you laid out in the upcoming days. But we will start in the Atlantic Division. Got the Celtics, got the drama 76ers. We got my Knicks, we got your Nets, and we got the team up in the sixth, the Toronto Raptors. We will start with the best team, the Boston Celtics, to win the NBA title. Plus 380 is tied for the best. Eastern Conference title, Eastern Conference odds, plus 175 is the second best. Division, they're obviously the favorite to win the division at minus 240. To make the playoffs, 80-1. Obviously, they're going to make the playoffs, and their win total is at 54. Elvis, I'll let you lead this one off, kid. What do you like here?
Still, with the Boston Celtics, still, what can I say? Getting that huge acquisition in Drew Holiday, still, I can't say much about it, though. I think this team is going to be great, much better than they were last season, in my opinion. Added Porzingis, added Holiday, giving the master contract to Jaylen Brown. I think he's going to play a little more, let's just say superstar-ish, So give me the Celtics over 54.5 wins, though. And I was looking for it, though. I think they have the most win in the Eastern Conference. I think they'll be the number 1 seed. So if you can, people, I don't think it's out now, but I will bet the Celtics to lock in the number 1 seed. I'm not saying they're going to win the conference. All I'm saying is I think they'll have the number 1 overall seed / best record in the Eastern Conference.
So their projected starting lineup, you got Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. It would be insane for the Celtics to enter this season with the same exact core that they came up short 2 seasons in a row. So honestly, like, that's literally what I wrote.
Sense.
Yeah. So I like this team. A lot of people, I know some Boston fans, I talked to them. They were kind of upset. I won't say that, but they were very upset when they shipped away Marcus Smart. He was the heart and soul of the team, great defender. And, but then they go out and get Drew Holiday. They go out and get Kristaps Porzingis, who I think he had one of his best seasons in Washington last year. He averaged 23 a game. He shot over 50% from the field, 39% from 3, all career highs, I might add. They have big mans, as long as they stay healthy, which is a big if given the history. But I just think the Bucks, obviously they jumped the Celtics in the title favorites because of getting Damian Lillard. But I think
we're talking about the regular season here, people. And Boston Celtics are going to be a better regular season team. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all.
I agree. I think they bounce back and become the favorites when they obtain Drew Holiday in exchange for Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams. They got draft capital as well, but I think Holiday's value, he's a lockdown defender. He creates shots for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. He's a playmaker. And he ranked 12th in the league in overall analytical stats on the defensive side of the ball last year. So it's not just one side of the court. He affects both sides of the court, something that the Boston Celtics really didn't have. I think
and he knows how to win a championship, though. He's been there. He's done that. He knows how to orchestrate an offense.
My one concern is Joe M. I'm not the highest on the coach. He's a little weird, if I'm being frank. But this is the best starting five in the league. Give me the Celtics to win the NBA championship at plus 380. I think it's their year. So that's my play. I know it's crazy. I know you don't like that play, but
real quick. Our first NBA topic of the season.
I'm going with a champion already.
Our first 3 minutes in, Dylan named the champion. I love it. I'm not saying I love the pick. All I'm saying, I love the energy.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Let's go to the next team where the energy is very low. The Philadelphia 76ers to win the NBA championship, 27-1 to come out to win the Eastern Conference, 10-1 fourth best odds. Division, they have the second best odds behind the Celtics at plus 340 to make the playoffs. They are 10-1. They will make the playoffs, I think. Win total at 48.5, over plus 110, under minus 134. Elvis, I'll start this one off. I think this team is a pass. I think I'm not going to even touch it. There's just too many question marks. Like I said, I do think they'll make the playoffs, but there's just too many question marks for this team and James Harden. I don't expect him to be in Philly all year. And then they bring in a coach like Nick Nurse, who I like Nick Nurse. I think he's a good coach. He's won an NBA championship. But he's the type of guy that rides. He's like a Coach Tibbs. He rides his starters until they can't fucking play. And I don't think that's the best recipe for injured Joel Embiid. I think if you do that, he's going to wind up getting hurt, which I don't wish. He's the MVP for a league, which that's another debatable topic. But I do think they're a good team. They're projecting starting lineup for this year. Like I said, you have Joel Embiid, you got PJ Tucker, Tobias Harris, James Harden, maybe, and Tyrese Maxey. That's who I think they should be building around. I like Tyrese Maxey. I think he's going to be a really good star. It's just the drama is endless with this team. So I really want nothing to do with them. Can I see them going over their win total? Yeah, they had 54 games last year. They had 51. They had 49. They've gone over this win total in 3 straight games. I do think maybe they get over it, but I do think they sneak into the playoffs. So I guess that'd be the only play, but nothing real of value here for the 76ers, kid.
Dill, I hear what you're saying, Dill. But like you said, Tyrese Maxey, he's special, Dill. I think he's going to take that next level. And even if James Harden is on the team or even if he's not, you're going to get a pretty good load for James Harden. The Damian Lillard deal is done, so you know what somewhat of the 76ers, you know what you could get for James Harden. You have somewhat of an idea. Now you just got to piece it together with certain teams. Still, with that being said, give me the 76ers over 48.5 wins still. Even with Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, and Tyrese Maxey, no James Harden, I think this team wins 49, 50 games. Now, you add James Harden or you add the pieces you get for James Harden, I think this team is right up there. I'm not saying they're the Bucks or the Celtics. All I'm saying is they're easily the third best team in the conference. Give me the 76ers over 48.5.
Yeah, I mean, with him, the 76ers are a playoff. With James Harden, obviously, I'm talking about. They're a playoff team and maybe a slightly more. But without him, I just think they're a playoff team and nothing more. Yes. I hope Tyrese Maxey, he's good. Don't get me wrong. I hope he can make another jump. But I just don't think that's going to be enough to compete with the Bucks and the Celtics, especially with their current roster right now. Obviously, they're going to get a hole if they do trade James Harden.
I give them a slot edge over the Heat. That's all.
Yeah, of course. I agreed with that. You know, they, like I said, they won 54 games last year. It was the most they've won since 2001. Now, spin zone. If Harden and Daryl Morey, if they rekindle and they repair the relationship, which I don't think is possible at this point, yeah, I think they could win 50 plus this games, especially with the MVP Joel Embiid. So that's how I see it. I just think there's just too many question marks for this team. Let's go to the best team. The New York Knicks to win the NBA title 46-1. I should have fucking put a ticket on that. Eastern Conference odds, they have the sixth best, 16-1. The division, they have the third best odds at plus 750 to make the playoffs, minus 335. Over under their win total is at 45.5. To go over it is plus 100. Under is at minus 122. You got Jalen Brunson. You got Quentin Grimes. Don't like that they traded Obi Toppin, if I'm being frank. RJ Barrett. Yes, he was developing, and that's what the Knicks never really had. But that's another topic. Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson, if he fucking could stay healthy. You know, Knicks, they won 47 games last year. That was their most in over a decade. So the arrival of Brunson, he's been the biggest contributor to their success. That I don't think that's even a conversation. He was their missing piece that the Knicks needed to turn around from a lottery team into, you know, a playoff team. So I love him. I think he's a really good guy. He got them in. Randall, he had a better regular season last year. He made the All-Star games. I think Barrett is getting better. I like Emmanuel Quickley, Josh Hart, Grimes. They added Devontae DiVincenzo. So they have some solid young core. I like the Villanova Knicks. There's obviously a ceiling, though. I'm realistic. There's a ceiling to this team. And unless Barrett, I think he's the key piece of this team. Unless Barrett finally emerges into that consistent star that they need, I just think they're a playoff team and really nothing more. So I think the Knicks are waiting for that next superstar to become available in the free agent market, or maybe trade for one, but maybe to try to contend with the Bucks and Boston Celtics. But that's a conversation for another season. But for right now, I'll take the over the win total 45.5. I think they make the playoffs, but it's at minus 335. So should be a playoff team, but really nothing more. Maybe they win another series like they did last year, but that's about it.
Yo, I respect how realist, how much of a realist you are right now. Just because you're not overhyped and you're not selling too low. I respect it. Though. As a Knicks fan, hard lifer as you are, I respect the realness still. With that being said, Dill, I'm kind of with you. I think they're a playoff team. I think they'll probably be a little better than they were last year just because they have more chemistry, Dill. You know, but I think you got just a 44-48 win team. You know, I think you got somewhere in there, you know, 44-48. Would it shock me if y'all win 45 and y'all go half a game under? Absolutely not. Would it shock me if y'all win 49 games? Absolutely not. Y'all pretty good team. Y'all just not that team. You know, like I agree with you. Y'all just a superstar away for possibly in a serious contender in the Eastern Conference still. So I think the Knicks are just a middle of a pack team. They're a good playoff team, just not a great team. Hey, it's just the East is stacked right now. It's a tough time to be a good Knicks team because y'all finally good, but the East is just on a different level.
Yeah, I think we're a top 6 team in the East, top 6, top 7.
Yeah, not a bad team. It's just the top fucking 3 teams.
Yeah, they're loaded. They're loaded.
Yeah.
Let's go to your Brooklyn Nets to win the NBA title, 130-1. Eastern Conference Finals, 55.
Don't laugh.
That's it. I just read the number and it was just crazy. To win the Eastern Conference, 55-1. They are ranked the 8th best team. Divisional odds to win the division, 27-1. To make the playoffs, plus 142. Not to make the playoffs, minus 184. Surprising. Win total is at 37.5 to go over that, minus 106, minus 114 to go under. A lot of disrespect in the market for the I always want to say New Jersey Nets. I'm sorry, that's just how I was. You and I grew up in New Jersey, so it was always the New Jersey Nets. So
yeah,
I always have a problem.
I know the Continental Center and the Izod Center. That's what I know.
Legends. Remember seeing Vince Carter there, bro?
Bro.
Their projected starting lineup for the Nets: Spencer Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, who I really like. I think he's going to develop into a star. Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Nick Claxton. I really like Nick Claxton as well. What do you make with your team, kid?
Dill, let's just be real, Dill. I like my team. Do I love it? No. But depth from top to bottom, we have a fucking solid team, though. We have some great young talent, Nicola Claxton could be potential all-star, especially at the center position, though. He blocks a lot of shots. He just need a little more bricks in his back pocket. But other than that, I like him. We know what Malik Bridges represents. We know Cam Johnson's ceiling.
Mhm.
And I think our biggest question, it's not Spencer Dinwiddie, though. Our biggest question mark is Ben Simmons. I know.
I forgot he was on the team.
I know. With that being said, though, I think Ben Simmons could possibly make something happen. He says that he's finally healthy. I got to see it to believe it. That's the X factor. If Ben Simmons is anything like the Philadelphia Ben Simmons, we're a top 4 team in the East, But do I believe we're going to get that? No. Do I want that? Yeah. With that being said, they'll give me the New Jersey Nets over 37.5 wins. Even with a bad back Ben Simmons, I think we're at least at the bare minimum a 38-40 win club.
Yeah, I think with the Nets, I think whether or not they make the playoffs, I think the Nets are winners this season.
I think we can make the playoffs. It wouldn't shock me. We were like the 7th seed. We win a play-in game.
The reason I'm saying they're winners regardless, they don't have to deal with the headaches of Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and James Harden. That big three was just a headache. And I'm not even a Net fan, and it was a headache for me. As for the roster, I agree. I think there's depth, but I think it's a project. I think Malik Bridges could emerge as a superstar, which he's shown glimpses of. He's definitely the best player on the team. Other than him, I like Spencer Dinwiddie. Cam Thompson, he's shown you he's a bucket. Nick Claxton, he could clog up the paint.
Our team is really good, bro.
I think they can function as a solid team. I think the best is maybe to get into the play-in tournament. I think there's an option to get into the play-in tournament, and I think that's at plus money. I think that would be a successful season. At the minimum, it's going to be a fun young team with potentially some rising superstars on this team and drama-free. That's the big one.
And my boy Cam Thomas, he could also hit that next step. Remember, he was the first player in like 20 years to under 20 years old to average 40 points a game for a whole week. Says, go James.
Yeah, I said Cam Thomas. Kid could fucking shoot. I think he came onto the scene a few years ago in March Madness with LSU. But yeah, kid's a fucking shooter. He needs time, and it's hard developing that always coming off of the bench, which you can't do anything about. They have good players on the team. Let's go to the last team up in our friends up north in Toronto. The Toronto Raptors to win the NBA title, 130-1. Eastern Conference Final, 49-1. They have the 7th best odds to win the East. Divisional odds, they're the worst team, 39-1. To make the playoffs, plus 144. Not to make the playoffs, minus 186. Their win total sitting at 36.5. Over is at plus 100. Under is at minus 124. I'll say their projected starting lineup real quick. Dennis Schroeder, OG Anunoby. You got Scotty Barnes, who doesn't really look happy. Pascal Siakam and Jacoby Pellett. It should be a very interesting season with them, depending on their wins and losses. It definitely, I think it was, I don't know how to put it. It definitely was bad when they lost Fred VanVleet. You know what I mean? And now the one question, should they extend Siakam or should they try to trade him? The direction of this team, I really don't know where they're going to be going towards the deadline. Siakam, he's the main piece of this team, especially ever since Kawhi Leonard left in 2019. He's their heart and soul of this franchise. He becomes a free agent after this season, though. And if him and the Raptors fail to get an extension during this season, Siakam has made it clear that he wants to stay. So it'd be very weird that they don't get a deal done. But do the Raptors want him? What if they want to go in a different direction and want to start rebuilding around Scotty Barnes? I think they have some pieces, but I don't know. Toronto may decide they want to enter a rebuild with him, and they have young pieces. So I don't know. I think losing Fred VanVleet hurts them. They went 44-41 last year, dead 500 team. I think they're slightly worse than that, especially after losing Fred VanVleet, their leading scorer. So win total at 36.5. I think they go under. I think there's just too many question marks. I think it's a project of a year. So I'm going to go under for the Toronto Raptors.
Still, with the Raptors, it's just an unknown. You got new head coach, no Fred VanVleet. You got some nice pieces, like you said, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby. But then you also got one of your star players in Scotty Barnes being frustrated and talking openly to the media about his frustration. So I just don't understand and have a great, picture of what could the Raptors be this season. They were a bad team last year with Fred VanVleet and Nick Nurse. I just don't see how they could be a better team without those two. So I lean the Raptors under deal, but I really don't have no play for them.
Yeah, no, it's a very how I would say it's a very tricky team to, I guess, forecast and see how they wind up doing this upcoming season, but should be fun. Let's after today, we're gonna start talking about other divisions as well. We got a guest on for next week, so should be fun. Elvis, I can't wait for the NBA season. Should be fun, and then start of November is college basketball, my forte. So we'll be locked and loaded. Before we get out of here, two things I want to say. We got the MLB playoffs continuing. It's the divisional series best of 5 and the WNBA finals tonight in game 1. I'm just going to rattle off my plays real quick. I'm going to take the Baltimore Orioles here at home. Crowd will be electric. Kyle Bradish against Dane Dunning or Andrew Heaney, excuse me. Doesn't matter if it was Andrew Heaney or Dane Dunning. I think Baltimore Orioles are the better team. I'm going to take Baltimore Orioles in game 1. And for my second play, I like the over 8.5 in the Phillies in Atlanta. Ranger Suarez going against Spencer Strider. Spencer Strider actually gives up a lot of hard contact at home. So I think both teams are going to get a lot of runs here. Got winds blowing out, so should be a fun, exciting series. And then my last play, I'm going to take the Dodgers minus 1.5 at plus money. I mean, as long as you're able to get plus money here, I think Clayton Kershaw in the playoffs is just, he's hard to beat. At home, they've owned the Diamondbacks all season, not just this season. In history, the Diamondbacks haven't won a playoff game in LA in years. I just think this is a really tough matchup for them. So, yeah, 3 plays, Dodgers on the run line, over 8.5 for the Phillies in Atlanta, and give me the Baltimore Orioles on the money line. Any MLB plays for you, kid?
Dill, give me the Texas Rangers on the money line, Dill. Plus, what was 124, Dill. I just feel like the Rangers, they took care of business sweeping the Rays on the road. I think they just go out there and sneak out a game 1 in Baltimore. That's all. I still think Baltimore wins the series, but I just feel like the Rangers are just a little hotter right now. Orioles with the week off. I think the Rangers upset them with game 1. And with that being said, Dylan, give me a player performance double. Let's make it interesting. Andrew Heaney, 5+ strikeouts in the Rangers to win at plus 290.
Ooh, what a fucking hit. And then lastly for me, WNBA finals, like I said, it's the 2 best teams, New York Liberty and Las Vegas Aces. You would think I'm on the Liberty, but no, I'm a Las Vegas Aces fan. I don't fuck with the Liberty. Give me the Aces minus 4.5 at home, and give me a player prop for Vegas. Bijan Leitney over 15.5 points at minus 110. Last 3 games in the last round, she had 21, 20, and 20. She's only gone under this number 1 time this postseason. She's been over this in the postseason in 5 of the 6 playoff games. She's averaging 17 points She's averaging 17 points in the postseason, excuse me. And I feel like just the number is a little short. Last 2 games against the Aces, she's gone over both of those numbers, 17 and 17 in both of those games. It's a Liberty player, by the way. She's a forward. So give me Leitney over 15.5 points and give me the Aces minus 4.5 at home. Elvis, we covered a lot. Any last words before we get out of here, kid?
Nah, Dylan, let's just have another positive week in the NFL, and let's just see some great games in college, in the diamond, and on the gridiron as well.
Let's fucking go. Elvis, good luck. Good luck to everyone out there. That's going to do it for this Saturday edition of the Dream Wager. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Elvis, myself, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll recap the games. We'll give you our best bet for Monday Night Football. Follow along our social media, Twitter and Instagram at the Dream Wager. We go live on YouTube every Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday, youtube.com/the Dream Wager. You can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. Subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Everyone have a great day. Good luck on your wagers, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.